Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I am your hosts, Goose, over here with my co-host,
Bluesy, yeah.
And we are excited to get started here with some Randubs, the first ever Randubs bracket that I think we've had ever in the Pacific Northwest.
I think so, yeah.
And here at the Arcadian, so just for anyone who is unsure, Arcadian basically, if you're ranked in your region previously, you are disqualified from competing in the singles bracket. But a lot of the PR and highly ranked players of our region are participating in Randubs, which is, you know, both teams select random at the character select screen. And yeah, whatever you're dealt by your hand is what you get.
Yeah, the Randubs scene that's kind of taken the Pacific Northwest by storm a little bit, you might say. Back in Cascadia Clash, we had a lot of people who were invited to the event, essentially fiending it throughout the whole event. And since then, a lot of the regionals, a lot of the majors we've had, you'll see a lot of our like high-ranking, top-level players will be just fiending it.
Yeah, people definitely are super, super into it. I think it's just like the volatility of it is really attractive, and it also is a great way to just, from all levels of play, improve your overall kind of knowledge and play within the game. And it's just fun. It's just a lot of fun, and people have been doing a lot of money matches around it. So Josh, the director of the Arcadian, saw fit to include it as a formal event, also as a way to get some of our top-ranked players who are disqualified from the primary bracket, have them be able to come out, participate, have a good time. Obviously, JDV and JoJoDaHoBo here, both players on our PR. I am not 100% sure who their opponents are. It's always tough because I think I recognize the player on the left in the pink hoodie, but with mask is a little tough. But regardless, let's see what we're dealt here in the first Randubs.
Looks like we got a couple pretty funny characters on both teams.
Yep.
We got a bit of uniqueness too. Rosa. Right.
Yeah, Rosa, definitely a pretty rare breed of character after Smash 4. The Smash 4 nerfs, you don't see her too often. But, you know, she's got some stuff. Doc also generally considered one of the worst characters in the game, but also in doubles can be really scary because of just the punching power if left unattended.
Yeah, the space he can control when you are forced to either approach him or run into him is really good, especially when he has a lot of good control in doubles. It's harder for him to save his teammates. Oh, but a good spike on the left side.
Yeah, really, really strong start there from P0shi, I believe. Yeah.
P0shi.
Yeah. Oh, but getting taken off with the fair. And just looking at the dynamics here, it's interesting. JDV and JoJo's team, they both have big hitboxes that they can throw out there and control a lot of space. Obviously, Sephiroth with the giant sword. Rosa with that big fair that just controls a lot of area. And, of course, Luna being able to take a lot of space as well. In the scramble, though, so far, Sephiroth been leaving unattended. All right, there we go. Down to 2 stocks apiece.
Yeah, it's interesting to talk about. Rosalina and Sephiroth do tend to control very similar ranges. So they'll probably be like cutting in on their roles in doubles a little bit. But when you consider Villager as a character who likes to play very far back, and Doc as a character that likes to really run in and get in on your face to kill you, you could argue a little bit that the composition of their team is slightly better. As you can see, they're pulling it pretty even with JoJoDaHoBo and JDV right now, despite obviously them being probably not only much better players, but definitely more proficient in this kind of style.
Yeah, certainly. Oh, but getting caught out there. I think that was a counter from Sephiroth. Thing is ridiculously strong.
Right, especially in doubles when a lot of people will end up just scrambling and might just hit it accidentally. You're going to end up getting some kills out of that. Ooh, across the entire screen, but
the up B out of shield from Doc is no joke. Ooh, trying to get that alley-oop there.
Yeah, you're going to see that a lot of the times as things go on. Like, obviously, people who are proficient in doubles will have their team combos really well routed out, but in Randubs, you really have to adjust that stuff on the fly.
Absolutely. And this Doc at 179 really needs to go down, but I mean, Rage Doc, that Oh, I was going to say that back throw might have killed Sephiroth, even at 80 at the side with Rage. But going down, and now JDV and JoJo taking a bit of a commanding lead at this point.
Yeah, they're pulling this pretty... Ooh, oh, no. He team comboed his teammate.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Yeah. And
Ooh,
now
the ladders.
Ooh.
Love to see it.
All right.
Nice reversal there from P0shi.
Yeah, the flaws you have with Doc in doubles is when you're in these 2v1 situations. I imagine, as a character that's so easily gimped and a character that's so easily boxed out,
it's awful.
winning 2v1s must be impossible.
Yeah, there's a handful of characters that are really good at 2v1. Like Ness is the main one that comes to mind. But there are a couple others who just have tools to move around, set up things to, snake. There's just characters who can control more space and have stuff going on that almost acts as another character, or at least another threat that has to be contended with. But Doc is absolutely not one of those characters. Uh-oh. Are we changing controls?
Might have been
correct?
Might have been a control mishap on game 1, but...
No? No?
Seems like it was correct.
Just making sure. All right,
yeah, I guess that can be a little bit of an issue sometimes. When you're playing characters you're not familiar with, sometimes you might think some things are wrong that aren't actually.
Yeah.
Just because you might not understand perfectly how the character works.
With that, and that's one thing to remind everyone, you do always, doesn't matter what you're playing, when and where you're playing, you always do have the right to do a button check, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you're never going to have anyone besmirch you if you want to do that. Just to make sure everything is acting correctly. Plenty of times you'll plug in a GameCube controller into even a first-party dock, and sometimes you just have to replug it. You need to get that set up. Ooh, quite a draw here from JoJo and JDV. Yeah. The team, it's not that Duck Hunt and P0shi are bad. It's just P0shi in doubles. That's kind of a yikes for me, to be honest.
So my main, I wouldn't say a main motivation, but one of the main things I was looking forward to in Randubs is how you see how people play the characters that you play. Oh, and right. P0shi's my main.
Oh,
so
right.
It's going to be, I probably will be focusing on that a little more throughout this match, but you definitely see, as far as both the ease of use, and the character quality, JoJo and JDV's team is definitely way better here.
Yeah. If you don't know how to pilot P0shi, I've messed around with the character because I think they're fun, but they're just very unforgiving. Oh, and if you don't know how to do the Pikachu just up, that's a yikes for me.
Yeah,
dog.
That's a very unfortunate draw when you play characters that tend to be difficult to pilot, like Duck Hunt and P0shi, without experience with them. That's why you tend to see obviously that's why Randubs tends to take a lot of skill to be able to pilot effectively, because you need to have at least a decent knowledge with most characters in the game, or else you're very at risk of having a lot of your deficiencies shown. Yeah.
Yeah, and every top player, top to mid, upper, high tier everyone who is good at this game, I say pretty confidently, has a Lucina that they can pull out.
Right.
Like JDV, someone who's #1 on the PR. I don't know how much I don't think I've ever seen him play Lucina, but his Lucina's going to be proficient just because it's the neutral. And honestly, kind of same thing with Wario, a little weirder, but Wario has a lot of just really good normals, a lot of good buttons, and if you can just figure out how to use fair and nair, up air and up tilt, you're going to be fine.
And especially even in doubles, if you understand enough how to convert in doubles, you'll be able to confirm off your opponent's hits into WAP really easily. I assume that's what he tried to go for there. But
kudos to P0shi, I don't know exactly how it's pronounced, to putting up a decent,
2 stock.
Putting up a decent fight. Oh, and then JDV just throwing the stock away.
Yeah, I like seeing these B reverse cans. They're very, very silly.
Maybe P0shi's played. Looks like has at least tried out Duck Hunt before.
Yeah.
Is trying to execute the kind of Duck Hunt game plan to some degree.
I think it's possible. If you're familiar with the scene enough, you can tend to understand how like our top players play the characters that they play, because we do have Embozy,
Right.
a very very good player in the region who plays Duck Hunt. But
Absolutely.
that will be a 2-0 victory for. Oh, seems like, is that Poop or is that P0shi talking about his controller a little bit?
A little unfortunate there, but it's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. And JDV and JoJoDaHoBo going up 2-0. Let's see some of these.
Ooh, yeah, that
hype
dog
replays.
edgeguard up on
That was pretty hype. That was maybe one of the hypest things of the entire set.
Yeah. Like,
that was
obviously,
a glimmer of hope at the beginning, right?
right. It looked like JDV understanding that the flaws of Doc are his ease of being edgeguarded, but if you aren't prepared, you will get reversal there. And that back hit of the F smash sending light little Pichu all the way to the blast
I just
zone.
like, even if you are good with Pichu, I just cannot see a universe why you'd pick that character in doubles, just because of like the character dies so early. Like, why? You're just gonna die really early. There's there's too much happening on screen where like the chance of you getting clipped by your teammate or clipped by something and dying at 70, it just seems like a really high risk. And like, what do they provide in the doubles environment that you really couldn't just do with Pikachu or like frankly another character?
Yeah, the roles Pikachu and Pichu tend to fill are very similar in